can I invite you forward, because I thought it would be good before Martin speaks to us. For us, not all of us will know you, so it is great to get to... Martin, I first heard you speak when I was 22, which was just a year or two ago. And
1 year ago,
one year ago, absolutely. I had read one of your books, and you were preaching at Christ Church in North Finchley, and I dashed back from being away to come and hear you speak. And you spoke a sermon, and that sermon is the reason I'm here.
Oh, praise the Lord.
They may not be quite so thankful. Martin, tell us a little about your family. Elizabeth is with you, and you have, is it 3 children, I think, and various grandchildren, 7 grandchildren, is it?
That's right, 3 children, 1 in Greenwich and 2 down in Chichester. Our oldest son lives in Greenwich and is working in business in London. Then our second one is Margaret, a daughter, and she has a counselling ministry and a training ministry for business leaders in the big international companies, particularly in personal relationships. And then our third one, Ruth Valerio, she's very strong on ecological issues and environmentalism, and she's full-time with Tear Fund, one of their directors, on social welfare, but also on environmental issues. And then we have 7 grandchildren. They're at the sort of university stage at the moment.
And Tear Fund is one of the missions and charities we support as a church, and I know Ruth has been here on occasion to speak. So you have travelled the world, haven't you?
Well, not all of it. But yes, I've been around a fair bit.
Well, where are some of the places you've particularly been to?
Well, thinking of some of the countries you have represented here, we've been in Sri Lanka, I've been in Albania, and Afghanistan I think is represented here. I've been there several times. And I've been in most of the South American countries and virtually all of the Asian countries, Central Asia also. And Eastern Europe a fair bit, well, and Western Europe too, of course.
Yeah. Africa in there somewhere?
Sorry?
Africa?
Yes, Africa also, sorry, I missed that, yes. They have not been in Nigeria. Amazingly, the biggest country, and of course from an Anglican point of view, you will realize that the Anglican Church in Nigeria now has more active members than all the Anglican churches of Britain, Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada, and South America put together. So when the Archbishop of Canterbury gets up to speak, he doesn't represent very much. But when the Archbishop of Nigeria gets up to speak, he represents the majority of the Anglican Church. So Africa, we've been a bit in West Africa, in Senegal and Gambia. Been, of course, in, I think, all the North African countries except Libya. And East Africa, I'm a bit weak. I've only been in Kenya and overnight in Zambia once, but that's hardly visited. And Lesotho and South Africa I've been in.
So what have you been doing? You have actually covered most of the world. What have you been doing in these different places?
Well, people are very unwise, like St. Paul's Harlow also, and they actually invite me to come and speak. And so it's largely been conferences, Christian conferences, training in mission. I do quite a bit on Islam, so I've done a lot of teaching on relating to Muslims and how to get the gospel across effectively among Muslims. But I have also worked among Hindus and Buddhists. And Afghanistan, it was mainly on Islam and on, in the days when the Russians were there, I tried to help them relating to a communist takeover of a country and how that works. So it varies.
Yes, so you were, I think you were very much based at All Nations Christian College, where you
Absolutely.
still have strong links. So you lectured there, and I know you've written various books, and there was a bookstall at the back of church as well.
Yes, we were 24 years full-time as tutors at All Nations, and George and Jenny were in our tutor group, so all their weaknesses are entirely due to us. Their strengths had nothing to do with us at all. But they were years of tremendous blessing. We just rejoiced being there and learned so much, as well as tutoring and teaching. And since then I've had 28 years just sort of part-time, and I still do 2 or 3 mornings every term up there.
Well, Martin, thank you so much, and we very much look forward to what you'll be sharing with us in just a few minutes. Thank you.